Okay, module 4, networking. So learning objective in this module, you will learn how to describe basic concept of networking. So ano ba yung networking? How does a traffic pass through the network security group? Describe the difference between public and private. Explain virtual private gateway. Explain lang. So walang hands-on to. No? Sa exam, wala namang hands-on. Explain lang. VPN. Describe the benefit of direct connect. Describe the benefit of hybrid and layer of security. And service customer used to interact with global network. Okay. So connectivity to AWS. So meron tinatawag na VPC. So what is VPC? Imagine millions of customers who uses AWS services. Also, try to imagine how many resources tong customer na to in-avail, no? Baka in-avail niya lahat. Hindi naman lahat, di posible lahat. I mean, nag-purchase ng DNS, ng instances, ng web servers, Fargate, Kubernetes, ang dami, no? Without boundaries around all these resources. So network traffic would be able to flow between them unrestricted. Okay, networking service that you can use to establish boundary around your AWS resources called VPC. So meron kang default VPC. That's why you can connect to the instance. And meron ding customized VPC na ikaw gagawa. Okay? Kasi kung meron kang custom VPC, unlimited or unrestricted ka. Okay? So why do we need VPC? So you can connect to your resources na nasa AWS with no restriction. Okay? VPC enables you to provision an isolation section of the cloud. In this isolated section, you can launch instances, virtual network defined within VPC. Let's say meron kang 100 virtual machine nandun sa cloud. With VPC, you can put them in a single subnet, meaning all instances will be reachable. Okay? In a single subnet. Okay? Ano yung may subnet? Subnet is a section of a VPC that can contain resources, okay, such as EC2 instances. So, first topic, medyo confusing to. So, please listen. So, first one is internet gateway. Okay, sa terminologies muna tayo. So, ano yung gateway? So, to allow public traffic from internet to access your VPC in the cloud, you need to attach an internet gateway. Ito yung ginawa natin. So, meron akong PC sa bahay ko, and then nag-SSH ako sa Linux. No? Paano ka nakakonect, sir? Meron kasing internet gateway. Okay, na built-in yung AWS. Okay? Sa AWS na yon, allowed yung we allow SSH. That's why we were able to SSH. And we also allow, a while ago, HTTP. That's why we were able to browse the web server. No? So that's how you connect. So kailangan meron kang gateway. So yung traffic from the single subnet will be broadcasted to the public. Okay? Yun ang concept ng web server. Dapat publicly available. Okay? Internet gateway is a connection between VPC and internet. So ito yung VPC, Virtual Private Connection. Okay? So isang box siya na nandun lahat ng mga instances. Okay? You can think of an internet gateway as being similar to doorway. Talagang let's say, before kang pumasok sa SM Mega Mall, merong entrance, di ba? So doon papasok yung customer. You can also have multiple entrance, multiple gateway, pero not ideal dito. Without gateway, no one can access the resources. So, kailangan gateway. Merong virtual private gateway. To access private resources, kailangan mo ng virtual gateway. Okay? So, VPN is one example. VPN is connectivity between your office to AWS. Okay? Mag-establish ka ng VPN. So, you can connect to the AWS. Let's say, sa opisina nyo, meron kayong 1,000 desktops and 300 server. Tapos meron din yung servers sa cloud. So paano mo pagko-connectin yung dalawang yon? Kailangan mo ng VPN. And we have a VPN topic sa CCA-A namin. Okay? Na kayo talaga gagawa. So if you want to understand VPN more, no, I would rather enroll sa Cisco namin. Talagang pag dalawang subnet pag didikitin mo. Say Makati to Australia. Magko-communicate yan. No? So dito, as long as you understand the concept, you can pass the examination kasi fundamentals. The virtual private gateway is the component which allows protected or secure traffic to enter to VPC. Ganito. Secure traffic. Remember, meron how can you say secure? Kasi meron tayong private key. So any communication na itatransmit natin sa internet won't be uh, uh, read by the public. As long as you have the key, may access ka. Pero if you don't have the private key, there's no way for you to read the transmission through the internet. Ganito kasi mga ethical hacker, di ba merong tinatawag man in the middle, okay? So tatap in dito, tatap in, babasahin yung mga packets, no? Using packet sniffing tool, packeteer, ang daming tool na pwedeng mabasa yan eh. Kung yan hindi encrypted, you're sending, let's say Facebook password, mariread nila. Makikita lang username and password mo. Okay? Now, how do you make it unreadable? Kasi meron kang private key dito. That private key can open doon sa instance. Okay? Yung secure communication natin. Okay? So yun ang doon dumadaan sa VPN. So without VPN, this will not be encrypted. Kung hindi to VPN, clear text lang to, mababasa nila. So anong purpose ng VPN? Is to encrypt the transmission over public internet. Malinaw ba? Na nag-gets mo yung concept? Okay, so that's VPN. Ano? Any question about VPN? Next is yung VPC. VPC is a connection to your subnet. So kung marami kang subnet, no? Marami kang VPC dito. Okay? So how do you connect? So, meron kasi direct connect din eh. So if you wanna connect sa VPC ng AWS host, let's say in Sydney, Australia, no? Tapos nasa Melbourne yung opisina ninyo. So meron ka ditong Cisco routers plus Cisco as a firewall. Okay? So allow mo dito SSH and HTTP. So dito ganun din, no? Open mo SSH and HTTP. Tulad ng ginawa natin kanina. Then ito yung hardware layer. Yung Cisco na yon will communicate to the Cisco VPN which is inside the AWS cloud. So silang dalawa lang magkakaintindihan since they have the same shared key. Okay? Without shared key, you won't be able to open encrypted data. Okay? So that's how they secure data. What is Direct Connect? Direct Connect is a service which enables you to establish dedicated private connection between your DC and VPC. Okay? So let's say ito, data center ko, ito VPC ko na nasa cloud, paano ko establish? Meron ding Direct Connect. Okay? Na hindi ka nadadaan ng VPN. Suppose that there is an apartment building within halfway, let's say sa kapitbahay nyo, linking the building coffee shop, only the resident of the same apartment can travel, di ba? Within the same tenant, I mean the same tenant sa building mo, yun lang may access. Pero yung ibang tao na hindi nakatira doon, walang access, di ba? So same concept din ng Direct Connect. Okay? Ang Direct Connect naman, ito let's say Sydney Data Center to. Kung gusto mong Direct Connect, yung buong data center mo, move mo sa Sydney Data Center. Lilipat mo physical. Let's say may 100 server ka. Lilipat mo sa same data center ng AWS. Tapos, meron ka lang LAN cable or fiber optics na speed is 100 gigabit. Yun yung fastest connection. Okay? Kadikit mo lang. Okay? Rack to rack ang connectivity ng Direct Connect. That's the fastest way. Okay? Pero very expensive to. Very expensive, no? Malinaw ba yung Direct Connect? So ano pinakaiba ng VPN sa Direct Connect? Ang VPN sa office nyo, no? Ang Direct Connect, same data center as AWS. Okay? Any question? Any question? Ayan. Ito pala. Meron pala dito. Talagang within the same data center yan. So it will reduce network cost, increase amount of bandwidth. Bibilis yan. Kasi LAN cable lang yan. No? Tatap mo lang yung sa switch dito, switch doon, pasok mo. Kaya Direct Connect. Next, subnets and network access control. So, NACL, NACL, and subnets. What is subnet? A subnet is a section of a VPC in which you can group resources based on security, okay, or operational needs. Subnets can be public or private. So let's say VPC public, available to public, open ng port 80 for web and port 443 for HTTPS or pwede mag SSH. Pero in private, hindi pwede. Hindi ka pwede mag-SSH directly for security reason. Kasi nandito yung mga database ng customer mo. So hindi ino-open to. Okay, so paano ka makapunta dito? You don't need to open by public. Kasi itong instances na to, let's say may application, let's say Microsoft.net, sila yung magko-communicate sa database, i-access nila dito. No? Sila lang dalawa mag-uusap. Let's say inventory. So hugutin niya yung data dito sa database about inventory, di-display dito, then bibigay sa user. Okay, let's say Facebook. Nag-Facebook ka, so ito yung interface sa public. Pero yung database ng Facebook, hindi accessible. Pero if you try to view your friends, makikita mo. So ginagawa nitong front end, he will pull up information from the database. Okay? So yun yung use case ng public and private. Na? Ito lang hinihit ng public. Any question about subnets? Okay, next. Network traffic in a VPC. When a customer requests data from application hosted in AWS, this request is sent as a packet. So packet siya, it's a data. A packet is a unit of data sent over internet or a network. Ang packet ng tawag yan. It enters VPC through gateway. So before a packet can enter to subnet or exit, check muna yung packet kung ano yung permission. No? Allowed ka ba or not allowed? No? Parang yung ginawa natin kanina dito sa network security group, di ba, meron tayong, ito yung instance ko, di ba? So ito yung net security, ito yung security. What did we allow? We only allow port 80 para makapag-browse, di ba? Kaya nakakapag-browse ako ng internet. Pag yan pinatay ko, hindi ko na mababrowse, di ba? Oh, accessible pa yung web server. Di ba? The moment I turn it off, okay, so paano edit yan, sir? So edit mo lang to. Security group. Okay, punta ka security group. Ito yung allowed. Di-delete natin. HTTP. Ba't dalawa? So, di-delete ko yan. Edit inbound rule. Delete port 80. Delete HTTP. Save. Eh, di wala ng internet. Diba? Tama-tama. Hindi ka na ma-access na. Kakopy ko to. F5. Nakita nyo? Ayun ang hourglass. Oh. Hindi nyo makita. Kasi nga naka-block. Okay? Hindi siya allowed in short. Nakita niya? If na-feel niya? Okay, isa pa. Sir, pingable ba? Hindi. Dapat hindi pingable kasi we did not allow ICMP4. Diba? So, hindi yung pingable. Tama ba yung IP address ko? Ayan, hindi reachable. Hindi pingable, okay? Kasi we did not allow. Ito na, i-allow ko na siya. So, how do you allow ICMP? So, dito sa network security group, yan, ito network security group, edit inbound rules. Okay, experiment nyo tayo. Add rule. Okay, hanapin yung ICMP, yan, yung ping. You can perform this one siguro after ng lab natin. IPv4 anywhere. Save rules. Okay, na-save ko na. Allowed na yung ping. So, ano mangyayari niyan? Ayun, allowed na yung ping. Okay, okay, allowed ng ping. So, ginagawa siya sa network security group. Okay? Okay, so bablock ko yung ping. Bablock natin yung ping. Delete ko tong ICMP. Delete, edit. Delete, save. Wala na. Goodbye. Block na yan mamaya. Okay. Sandali. So may delay siya. No? Naklik ko ba yung save? Yeah. Yeah, naklik yung save. Ayan, hindi na. Ay, gumagalaw pa ba? Okay. Refresh natin. Teka, bakit pingable pa? Sandali. Did I save? Edit. Yeah. Let's add port 80, yung HTTP. Anywhere. Okay. So kanina hindi ma-access, di ba? Hindi ma-access. Refresh. Oh, accessible na. Okay? Yung ping dapat block na to. May cache lang yan. Nasa router kasi yan. Okay? So after a few minutes, you won't be able to ping that one. Okay? So that's how packet na. ACL. ACL is a virtual firewall. So magkaiba ACL sa network security group. No? So ano itsura ng ACL? Ganito naman. Ang ACL is filtering the public subnet. Yung network security group kanina, yung ginawa natin, yung private natin. Kasi yung VM natin, yung instance natin, nasa AWS, di ba? Okay, so ACL is totally different, no? Gagamit ka na ng network access control layer which allow traffic to and from. Okay, parang NSG din, yung kanina, parang NSG din. Ito na yung security group. This is the one I created. A security group is a virtual firewall that controls inbound and outbound for an EC2. Okay, so by default, security group denies all. So unless you allow them, dun lang magiging accessible, no? Like yung ginawa ko kanina. So I allow port 80. So na-access na natin ngayon, no? Na-access na. Refresh ko, ang bilis, oh. Okay, I'm gonna disallow. I'm gonna block port 80. So saan nakukuha yan? Paano i-configure? EC2 lang. Gawin nyo ngayon. EC2, punta kayo sa instance nyo. Instance ID. So hanapin nyo lang yung security. Okay? Then launch security group. Okay, launch security group. Edit inbound rules. Okay? Then didelete natin to HTTP. Tingnan nyo. Save. Ganun lang. So hindi na allowed to. So refresh. Ayun na. Hindi na makita. Okay? Hindi na makita. Na? So i-allow ko. Add ko port 80. Add rule. HTTP. From anywhere. Save. Tingnan nyo. Ayan na. Save ko na. So na-add na HTTP. So accessible na yan. Kita nyo? Refresh. Na-access na. Okay? Na-access na. Accessible na yung website natin. Okay? So that's network security group. Okay, ito nag-time out. Any question about security group? Okay, next, knowledge check. So check natin. So in the following match each part of the application to correct VPC. O anybody, match natin to. Create a VPN connection between VPC and the internal. Tingnan natin. Match natin. You can open your slides, no? Yung answer actually lahat ng question is nasa slide lang siya. So create a VPN connection between VPC and internal. Ano yan? Ito. Virtual private gateway. Okay. Support the customer-facing website. Parang wala, no? Next, establish dedicated connection between on-prem and VPC?
Direct connect.
Oo, direct connect yan. Establish direct connection. Ayun yung keyword eh. Direct connect eh. Di ba? Sabi. So direct connect. And what else? Isolate database. Remember yung isolate database. So sagot ng virtual private gateway. So question, sir, paano naging virtual private gateway? Okay, tandaan nyo database. Saan yung question? Ito, database. So babalikan nyo to, database. Anong connection to? Private subnet. Diba?
Private.
Private. Yan, laging private ang database. No? So database, private subnet. Okay? So actually lahat ng question dito, dito lang makukuha yan. And lahat ng topic dito will be covered sa examination. So ito lang yung kailangan niya. Kompleto yan sa examination. Nandito lahat. Okay, next one, DNS. Suppose that any company has a website. So let's say may website kayo, hosted in AWS. Customer enter the web address, so they have to type the URL, and they are able to access website. So this happened because of DNS. No? So how's that possible? Because of DNS. DNS resolution involves customer resolver communicating with different DNS. You can think of DNS as being the phone book of internet. So ito yung phone book ng internet. DNS resolution is the process of translating domain name to an IP address. Bakit ganun? Bakit domain name to IP address? No? So ganito yan eh. No? Let's say gusto nyong mag-Facebook. So ano tinatype natin pag Facebook? Di ba facebook.com?
Domain.
Oo. Kung gusto mag-YouTube, di ba? YouTube. Di ba? Ganyan. Di ba? YouTube. Okay? Okay. Ano pa ba? Let's say Cebu Pacific. Okay? Ngayon, meron bang nagpe-Facebook IP address tinatype? Weird, di ba? Facebook ako mag-IP address. Pero paano malalaman yung IP address ng Facebook?
Mahirap
Reverse
i-memorize.
lookup. Oo. Meron bang nagpe-Facebook ganito? Sir, sandali, pe-Facebook ako. Let's say, tinatype IP address ba? First of all, hindi natin alam kung ano yung IP address, di ba? Gusto ko mag-Facebook, ganito ako mag-Facebook. Ganyan. 157.240.835. O, Facebook yan eh. Di ba? Sino ba nakakaalam ng IP address ng Facebook? Ganyan ako mag-Facebook. Ang weird naman, di ba? So, walang gano'n, di ba? So, mahirap yan, mahirap. Facebook IP address. So, that's why may tinatawag na DNS. Trabaho ng DNS, translate ang hostname, ang Facebook hostname, or fully qualified domain name into IP address. Parang phone book. Pag tatawag ka sa friend mo, hanapin mo lang yung name, di ba? Let's say friend mo, let's say, sino ba to? Sunshine Guimari. Hanapin lang sa cellphone mo. Di ba? Pero hindi wala yung phone number. So, yan yung DNS. No? Resolve hostname to IP address. Okay? For example, suppose you want to visit any company. When you enter the domain, you have to type the fully qualified domain name. So, yung FQDN na yun will be sent as a request. Okay? The customer, kayo, no, yung tinype nyo yung DNS will be translated into IP. Okay? Ta-translate ng DNS IP. Yung company, yung ISP, they find out much faster than any translation ang binary. Diba? Binary will be converted into decimal. So itong 192, yung IP layer 3 is a binary. Binary is a decimal number. So mas mabilis sa ISP to resolve DNS resolution. Okay? For computer, he can easily understand numbers than word. Pero for human, we can quickly remember yung names, di ba? The numbers. So baliktad ang computer sa tao. So that's why you need DNS. Okay? Malinaw ba DNS? Now, anong services ang meron sa AWS? So AWS has Amazon Route 53. Route 53 is a DNS web service. So siya nagta-translate ng IP ng hostname to IP. It gives developer and business a reliable way to route users to internet apps. Anything hosted sa AWS. Route 53 connects users to infra running AWS. Now, by typing the English name lang, no? Such as EC2. So you don't need to type IP address kasi di ba dito, the way I access, tong web server natin, paano ko ina-access IP? Kasi wala pang DNS name eh. Diba? So tina-type ko yung IP para ma-access. Diba? Which kind of awkward. I mean, bibigay mo ba yan? Ano ba yung web server mo? Sir, web server ko 18.118.107.127. So weird naman, di ba? So gagawa ka ng sarili mong DNS which points to that IP address. Okay? So yun ang Route 53. Route 53 is the ability to manage DNS records for domain names. You can register new domain names directly sa Route 53. Okay? So doon na mismo, doon na kayong bibili ng domain. No? You can also transfer DNS. Let's say meron kayong existing DNS, pwede i-transfer din sa AWS. How Amazon, Route 53 muna tayo. Yan. Suppose that any company application is running on several EC2 instance. No? So step 1, he will syempre kailangan meron siyang auto-scaling group and application load balancer. Load balancer as an IP address. Okay? So customer request data from application by going to any company website. Let's say sabihin natin nexusninjas.com. No, let's say meron tayong domain. Pangalan ng domain natin nexusninjas.com. Okay? Okay, yung domain natin. Kaso, let's say, may domain nga tayo pero wala namang DNS. It doesn't resolve to anything. So pag tinype nila yan, this site can't be reached. Kasi hindi naka-point. Hindi naka-point dito sa web server natin. Nasaan na ba yung web server ko? Balik tayo sa web server ko. Server, EC2. Okay, so ito yung server ko, ito yung IP address. Ang gusto kong gawin, if I type Nexus Ninjas domain, gusto ko redirect dito sa Linux server ko na merong web server 1. Okay, yun ang gagawin ko. Yun ang gagawin ko. So pag tinype ko to, kailangan ma-resolve dito. Okay? So yun ang trabaho ng Route 53. Okay? Kasi ito, di ba? Linux server ko na yan eh. May Linux na ako eh. So Route 53 will point to that IP. So the next time you type nexusninjas.com, it will display yung CloudFront, yung harapan niya. No? O kung merong application load balancer, yung Nexus Ninjas will point to load balancer. Okay? Gagawin ko yan Okay. Teka, ano pa ba? May skip ako. Ayan. How Amazon Route 53 and Amazon CloudFront deliver content. So let's say user from Manila, no? And then yung instance na Linux ko, the one I provisioned a while ago, is nasa Singapore. No? Let's say tatlo. So if I enable or if I pay for this service, no, it will do round robin. So magiging 30% something, 30%, 30%, no? First user, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, nine. Nagets niya, na? Round robin in a balance fashion. Okay, balance using load balancer. Ngayon, ano yung CloudFront and Route 53? Route 53, if a user type Nexus Ninjas, fully qualified domain name, re-resolve niya to sa IP nito. Sa IP ng web server ko yan. Babato lang niya yan dyan. Okay? Ganun lang gagawin niya. Okay? CloudFront is the somehow automation tool to connect for provisioning. Let's say, gusto mo mag-create ng instance. Pwede niya i-communicate. Let's say, user ako dito. Kinik ko tong CloudFront ko. Ko-communicate din sa instances within the same auto-scaling group. Okay? So, gagawa na akong Route 53. Okay, so ako lang demo lang ako. Kasi you need to if you want to perform the demonstration, you need to purchase a domain. So medyo ganito, paano mag-purchase ng domain? You don't have to kasi hindi naman kasama sa exam yun eh. No, medyo talagang complete lang kasi Nexus. Okay, so paano pumunta sa Route 53? So Route 53, kung nahirapan kayo dito, type nyo na lang Route 53. Route 53. Ayan, Route 53, it's a DNS service. Okay, gagawa ko na. Ito, may domain na kasi ko. Ayan, hosted domains. Hosted zone, sorry. I created hosted zone. sa solution architect namin, nexusninjas.com. Okay, binili ko na kasi yan. Pero kung let's say you would like to experiment, you need to purchase. Ganito, huwag muna kayo mag-purchase kasi the moment you click enter, babayaran nyo na to. Dededuct na sa credit card nyo. No? So demo lang to, create host zone. So ganun. So tatype nyo yung domain name. No, let's say nexusnumber1.com. Ayun yung public domain. Ito yung hihit ng mga users. So which one you want to use? Public or private? Private, kailangan yung instance nyo hosted sa on-prem nyo. No? Public na lang. Okay? Para available 24/7. Yan, ganun na. And then, ayan. So meron ditong NS, ito yung name server. Ito yung mga DNS resolver tawag dyan. They're the one holding our record. Okay? Okay. So, if I create a record, it might create this domain. So, ayokong gawin. No? So, ganun lang paggawa ng hosted zone. If you want to test if this one is working, you can test the www Nexus number get response non-existent. Okay, so, meaning I didn't commit, hindi ko pa generate, so hindi niya ma-resolve. No? Okay, so if you want to register a new domains, go to domain. Dito register kayo. Ito naman yung public domain. Let's say, ganun ulit, Nexus number 1. So, walang .com. Yan. So, .com, $12 a year. Check natin kung available. Uy, available. So, pwede kong bilhin yan. No? I can register. No? Let's say, ibm.com. For sure, hindi na available to, di ba? Check mo nga, check. Hindi na available yan. Not available yan. Okay, not available yan. Okay. How about nexus.com? Hindi na rin available yan. Okay, unavailable. Let's say .io kasi mas cool tingnan IO. IO, Indian Ocean. Hindi available. Okay? But if it's available, like this one, you have to pay $12. This one, Nexus That Sexy, medyo mahal, $39. Nexus Resource that 11. Nagets nyo na yung concept. So if I click continue, it will create a domain. So ayokong gawin yan. Back ako, babak ako. So ganun lang, paano na-register tong hosted zone ko. No? Ito, delete ko na to. Baka i-charge sa akin. Teka, delete ko lang. Ayoko. Delete. Okay. Ayan, para wala. Wala. Okay, so how do I point? Select a public domain. Okay. And then go to hosted zone. Saan yung hosted zone? So, hosted zone details. So ito yung DNS resolver, the one holding record. Okay. Then we have to select multiple routing. Okay. Edit hosted. So, create record. Ayan, yan. Okay. And then I'm looking for simple routing. Ayun, simple routing, meaning it will forward Nexus Ninjas to our IP address. Okay. And then A record is address record. IP address. Okay, IPv4 address. Traffic to alias. Okay, so select natin create records. Oh, shit. Endpoints. So ito yung endpoint ko. IP address. So hihit niya yan. Okay. Okay, nakapoint na ba doon? Okay, pinaka-point ko na. Value route traffic to. Tingnan natin kung gagana. Parang may kulang pa eh. Hindi ganun eh. May kulang pa yan. May kulang pa. So, create record ulit. Simple routing. Simple record. Record type. Type A. Tama naman ako. Type A to an IP address. Value route traffic to. Value route traffic to. alias to S3 endpoint. Value route. Walang makitang value route. Create record. Endpoint. Pwede bang alias? Ayun, tama. To S3. Okay, since wala pa akong S3, hindi ko magagawa to. Okay, ma'am, tutuloy natin mamaya kasi i-route ko yung traffic dun sa S3. Yung content ng HTML ko. No? Pero dapat pwede to eh. IP address pa tayo gumana. Okay, sige. Gagawa muna tayong S3. Okay, tapusin muna natin. Okay, DNS. Let's go back to DNS. Which statement best describe DNS resolution? Launching resource, storing, connecting, translating. Anybody?
Translating, sir.
Tama. Yun ang simplest definition. No? I-translate English to IP. Ganun lang siya. No? Any question? Any question? Before we move to the next topic.
Ay, sir, may tanong lang ako. Yung, kunyari, di ba ano kasi yun? Yung sa account, naka-connect sa, ano, sa card. Nanonotif naman kung may, ano, baka kasi mamaya
Depends.
may oh.
Yeah, sa billing natin, papakita ko sa inyo yung Cost Explorer. So that's why you have to delete after ng class. Delete mo lahat na. Papakita
So
ko
ngayon,
sa inyo.
so far naman, kahit ano yung ano naman ngayon,
Free ka
kunyari
naman.
kalikutin. Free naman kahit ano kalikutin.
Yes, for 1 month.
Okay,
Yung mga
thank you.
free tier lang, free tier lang. Pag hindi free tier, may charge na yan. Okay, so we're gonna proceed sa next topic. Ayan, storage. Ito yung inaantay ko eh. So we're gonna proceed. Teka, before we proceed.